Well, hello, I'm Dr. Julia Royston of BK Royston Publishing, Royal Media and Publishing, and the Book Business Boss Consulting, helping you get your message to the masses, turn your words into wealth, and be a book business boss. This is the day that the Lord hath made. We shall rejoice and we shall be glad in it. For the Kingdom Ministries, where we are always seeking to build people to build the kingdom. So, as you can very well tell, I'm not in my messy office this morning, and I thought I was going to pre-record, but I kept getting later and later in the morning, and I said, "Forget this, I'll go live." And so I'm super excited and thrilled to be here, to be alive, to be awake. Yes, I'm tired. I've had a very, very, very busy week. Um, I was in Mobile, Alabama, Birmingham, Nashville, and now I'm in Indianapolis at the Indiana Black Expo. So if you're in the Indianapolis area, today is the last day. And so come on down, come on through to booth 713. But in the meantime, I have been kind of going back and forth with two thoughts, trains of thought for a lot of people. And when I was in Mobile, there's always a great time when business owners break bread and sit down and talk and all that good stuff. And so um, we were just talking about a lot of the fear that comes with clients. No, they don't. It's not that they don't have. Some of them, it's not that it's not a money thing. Sometimes it's not a gift thing. It's not a talent thing. Sometimes it's not a time thing. Sometimes it's a fear thing. And they're caught in fear of everything going on. Now, as a disclaimer, yes, you should make wise decisions. Yes, you should make calculated decisions. And yes, you should determine your budget, determine your family status, what's going on, what is your immediate need. It's a constant look and evaluation and reevaluation, and death happens unexpectedly, and sickness happens unexpectedly, and then you get a flat tire, and then they lay off on the job, or you hear other people being laid off and all that. But after so long, you eventually are going to have to make some critical decisions for you. And this is just an encouragement. Everybody has to, as the old folks say, eat the meat and spit out the bones, or determine what is important for you, determine what season of life you're in, determine what's working for you. I see people who are starting publishing companies, and I'm like, great, go for it. But after 17 years, I know my lane. I know where I should be. I have to be comfortable with that. And I have to be able to root other people on. So everybody has to know what season of life they're in. It's not necessarily an age thing as much as it is a stage thing, and energy and health. It's a lot. But the scripture says in Psalms, what time I am afraid, I will trust in thee. And, when I thought about that, first off, time is not waiting. Of course, God is the only one that goes in and out of time, sets time, holds time, does what he created time. So he decides that. But what time I am afraid, I will trust in thee. And it's not a if I ever get afraid. It's just that time. There are appointed times in our lives, situations bring that appointed time that cause fear. Now we know God has not given us the spirit of fear, which is a spirit that runs through our whole entire being and body, but power, love, and a sound mind. So we have the power to overcome it. We have, he's given us a sound mind if we keep our mind stayed on him, and love, power, love, and a sound mind. So he is love. So it still all goes back to him. So first off, it's not if, it's when. And people say, "Oh, Julie, you just boo." I cannot tell you. I would be lying if I sat here and told you that I have never been afraid, that this is not going to happen, that that's not going to happen, that my budget is going to go under, or my business. I can never say that. I have never been afraid, but I have understood and realized that the person I am and the calling that I have, if he's really told me to do it, I have to do it afraid. I have to do it even with the fear. So it's not if, it's when. When it doesn't look like it's going to happen, when it doesn't look like it's going to work out. And ooh, because faith is not when all the, as they say, all the ducks are in a row, the contract is signed, ooh, the money's in the account. That doesn't require faith. That part doesn't. That may, require faith to execute. But when everything is all aligned, it doesn't necessarily, require faith. We just have to act. Because faith, you got the faith, but without works is dead. Being alone, you got to have one, and they got to go together. Can't have one without the other for true purpose filled life. Okay, so time, I am afraid, I will trust in thee. So it's not if, number one, it's when. And then the trust factor. Trust needs relationship. There are people I know, but I don't trust them. There are people I even love, which is scary to say, but I don't trust them either, because I've had relationship with them. I've been on a project, and I tell people all the time, you don't really know people until you have to work with them. You have to travel with them, and you have to be in close proximity. That's really relate to each other. But trust needs relationship. Now, I see a chair and I think I could sit in it and I trust it's going to hold me. Not that kind of trust. I'm talking about this. One time I'm afraid, I will trust in thee. I have a relationship, God. We have with God. We have history. I have a relationship with Brian Royston. We have history. 19 years, September, we'll be married 19 years. September 23rd. Now, we dated a year, so we've built a relationship over the past 20 years. And so we have history. And there are some things I can count on. And the things that I can't count on are most of the things that are out of his control. Accidents, forgot, there are things that beyond his control. But we're talking about trusting in God. We're not talking about that kind of level of trust in a human being, because there are circumstances beyond people's control. They meant to be there. They meant to come. The car broke down. The train stalled them. The train delayed them. The airplanes were delayed. The airplanes, some were canceled. So it's not that they never got their clothes in a bag and got to the airport. They sitting there and it still missed them. It's still, they had all intents and purposes. So get that. I can't depend on nobody. Well, okay. But it still requires relationship. And I'm talking about divine trust. I'm talking about that person who never, ever lets you down. Now, it may be his solution may not be what you wanted. Now, that's different. That's totally different than this level of trust. Because sometimes we want things that are even not in God's will for us. We desire things, we hope for things, we have goals and aspirations. I'm talking about that stuff that makes you fearful and God told you, and you still haven't done it. Now, that would make me fearful that I didn't even go for it, that I didn't even try it, that I didn't even if I didn't do it well, I can at least say, well, Lord, I gave it, my best. But some of us, I'm not saying all, some of us are in fear because we haven't done what he said. And it's not the money. It's not, some of it don't even require money. So it's not the if, it's the when. And then trust needs relationship. And hopefully over time, that relationship brings experience. And experience brings hope. Because once we have, he continuously answers and sends signs, and doors open, doors close. Because I have come to understand in my life after 62 years that some doors that were closed were probably the best thing. Now, I might have wanted something else for my own self-grandizement or whatever, But when I look back, I was like, okay, Lord, yeah, you knew what you were doing. I thought it was supposed to go this way. So it's not those kinds of things. It's those purpose and destiny defining things that we really need help with. So relationship brings experience. Once I have experience with you, I have a relationship with you, and I know God's consistent. He's never ever lost his power. He's but the lessons he wants to teach us and the path he wants to take us, sometimes we don't enjoy, our flesh. We don't like certain things. I didn't like whoopings when I was little. So I always tried to do what my parents said. I didn't like whoopings. I didn't enjoy them. I can pretty much name on one hand how many I got because I didn't like that. So just tell me what to do and let me do it. And that has carried over into my adult life. Not perfect, not without mistakes, not without failures, but my heart said, I want to get this done right because I don't want to be repeating my mistakes. So relationship brings experience, and then experience trust continues. I can continue to put my trust in that chair until I can't. I will continue to put my trust in God because he's never failed me. And when I look around at human beings and human condition of the world today, I realize I can't fully put my trust in that. So that's the reason why I'm always moving, I'm always evolving, I'm always expanding, I'm always, okay, all right. So expanding my gift, expanding my knowledge, expanding what I know, expanding things that shouldn't be done, expanding things that should be done. Because experience trust continues. It's a continuation. Once I have trust in you, I want to have it to continue. Now, sometimes, especially when we're trying to compare God to compete to people, we can't compare that. Somebody said one thing one time, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I'm not talking about a human being. I'm talking about God here. So God is in a category, in a class all by himself. You can't compare him to what other people are doing. You can't say, oh, and God didn't know. He's over here he's sovereign. He's in a class by himself. He can turn it. He can flip it. He can create it. He can kill it. He can bring it alive. He can resurrect it. He can restore it. He can recover it. He can do all of those things. And it does not require you to do anything. He is completely a source and a force and a resource and a creator all by himself. So therefore, that trust that I have in him, I can't compare that to you. I love you, really do. I can't, they don't compare. And they're not even apples and oranges. They're not even in the same, as they say, food category. We're not comparing apples and oranges. So therefore, the trust that we have in the author and finisher of faith, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the God of everything, big G God, big G, big O, big D God. We trust him with everything because it's in him we live, in him we move, and in him we even have our being. Your next breath depends on whether he says, yeah, or your appointed time to go. So the time I am afraid, I got to trust in God and say, Lord, if it's meant for me to do it, give me the courage, give me the wisdom, give me the knowledge, even help me with my fears, even help me being petrified, help me to think, help me to understand clearly the things that you've been preparing me for all these years. And that is my first pastor says, an individual affair. You have to decide that. But I feel like as the people of God, all souls in the earth, that fear thing is really, it's paralyzing people. It's stopping you. And I was even, I was going around the exhibit hall talking to these ladies. I said, well, yeah, it looks bad and parts of it is bad. And I said, but then, you have to come to the bottom line. Where's your trust? Who you trusting in? who you believing in, who are you trusting to carry you, to deliver you, to take you through. And some of the false, we used to define the acronym for fear, false evidence appearing real. Some of it's not just appearing real, it is real. But that trust that you have in God should continue, because he's trustworthy. He can be trusted. And in spite of, it didn't work out like and you get a little disgusted and you're like, well, I don't I trusted in God and it didn't happen like you won't. But old folks used to tell us, keep living. And you realize that was the best thing for you. That was the best. That was, girl. You didn't know till you, as they say, you look over your shoulder and realize, shoosh, God, you saved me. You protected me. You made sure that I wasn't swallowed up. The enemy didn't get a hold of me. You rerouted me. You brought me over. You brought me through. You brought me around. You detoured me. And I thank you for it. You distracted me with something else. And I got detoured. And I missed the deadline. And I didn't turn any in. But I wasn't even supposed to be over there in the first place. I tried it. I thought, child, there's 1,000,001 excuses, the 1,000,001 reasons. But that time I am afraid, when he's told me something specific, and it's in my skill set, it's in my mindset, it's in my network, it's in my sphere of influence, I will trust in thee. Yeah. I will trust in thee. I trust that blesses you today and helps you along your journey, and that you're reminded, God, I have to put my trust. Yeah, it's not if I'm afraid. I'm afraid right now. So therefore, I have to trust in you to keep moving, to open up a door, provide the way, give me divine favor, and give me divine appointments for divine favor. The time is now. Time is not waiting on anybody. So trust in the Lord. And I know people like, that's just a church cliche. Okay, well, as you get older, you realize trusting that old song, I will trust, is a true song and a true statement that you have to tell yourself and that you have to execute every single day so that you can live your best life, the abundant life that Jesus died for you to have and rose again with all power in his hand. Live your best life. Coming up next at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on envision-radio.com, where praise meets talk. 11 a.m. is the Spike Davis and Friends show. Tune in for laughs, music, and more. And then the Book Business Boss show comes on at Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on envision-radio.com. Book Business Boss Podcast.com is where the replays are held. And I'm super excited. 1,000 downloads. Thank you very much for your support. And I greatly appreciate it. The Book Business Boss Podcast.com is where you can subscribe, download my previous podcast. The Book Business Boss show is there. I appreciate it. 1,000 downloads. Woo! But super excited all what's happening. And to purchase Julia Royston books, you can always go to juliakroyston.com, and all my online stores and websites are there. But in person, Next Chapter Bookstore, gift shop inside Ben's Boys. Write that book now, publish, promote. A few of my children's books may still be there too as well. 2711 Grandview Avenue in Greensboro, North Carolina, or Brew and Sip, 2860 Packerland Way in Louisville, Janami Books and More, 18th Street. And then check out the Facebook page of the Book Nerd Fam mobile bookstore. Reach out to them too as well. And if you are ready to publish your book, or you have questions, let's have a conversation. Talkwithroyston.com, talkwithroyston.com. And for inspiration, ask, seek, and knock. RoystonRoyalBookstore.com. You can purchase the one of the in the series or the entire series. Coming up. Next Saturday, July 26th, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., I'll be in Dayton, Ohio at the Dayton Public Library, the West Branch, 300 Abbey Avenue in Dayton, Ohio, for When I See Me BIPOC Children's Book Fair. So looking forward to that. Thank you so much for Ms. Valerie Lewis Coleman for that invitation. And then on July 29th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Write That Book Now workshop, and go to roystonclasses.com. That's Royston Classes, and you'll see all of my summer fall workshop series. But the first one is coming up, Write That Book Now. So I have a lot of people who still come up to me, and they've been coming up to me in Indianapolis and Mobile. Well, I've been thinking about, I got about 3 books. Come on, let's get them things done and get them out there and available. And there are 9 billion people on the planet, so there's plenty of people for all the millions of books that are going around. So be sure and register at roystonclasses.com. Then August 16th, She Reads. I'll be back here in Indianapolis at the main branch, in the central branch of the Indianapolis Public Library, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. She Reads. Super excited about that. And thank you so much for that invitation. So, and then there are some other things coming up that I'll be announcing even more, but super excited and super thankful for a very busy summer. And I'm honored and privileged for all of the support, the people who've met me, the people who've seen me, and know that I'm out here on my hustle and grind, and um, uh, providing materials for literacy for all children. So I'm super excited about that and all that God has in store for me and for you. So my prayer is today, tomorrow, and always that you live your best life. Good morning, Miss Peggy Dixon. You can see her too as well at booth 713 at the Indiana Black Expo. Stop by. Make sure that you swing through both parts of Exhibit Hall H so that you can see all that what's going on. Yes, the WNBA All-Star Weekend still going on. So there's a lot of people in town, a lot going on. And so super excited about all of that. And it has been a honor and privilege to work with all the authors there at booth 713. So we look forward to continue to work in the kingdom and work in the literary space and providing support and help. I have a Prophet Masterclass coming up. Mark your calendar for September 27th. It's online virtually, so you can stay in your pajamas and get your favorite breakfast beverage, and let's get some planning done for fourth quarter and beyond. And let me just go ahead and put that down. You can register at bookbusinessboss.com. So visit bookbusinessboss.com in regards to that Book Business Boss Profit Masterclass that's coming up September 27th. I'll be going live in the next week or so to talk even more about that and what that looks like in the next for fourth quarter and beyond. We need to become and stay and renewed producers rather than consumers, so that we can have something else in the marketplace, something to offer, a business to help us financially, stabilize us, have money to invest. Yeah. I know I'm preaching to the choir to a lot of people, but we've got to have it. We've got to have it done. So be blessed in all that you do. Look for more at bookbusinessboss.com. I look forward to seeing you guys, Lord willing, next Sunday. And you all be blessed in all that you do. Bye-bye.